이거 봐야 돼요. 혼자.
네,
나가고
닭이에요.
Butcher.
자, 노자. 앞뒤. 자, 다 시선을
주파까지 그냥 한 번에 더 싸우죠.
Anchor. DPS.
시야가 나와서만 보면 거든요. 오, 둘. 쭉쭉쭉 왼쪽.
자, 벌써 왔어. 얼마나 이거는 벌써 폭탄 아니야. 진짜 핵폭탄이야. 그럼 연계가 다 됐어요.
Bird Ring.
누구도. 네. 이거 뭐가 닭이야.
오히려 노려지면 갈고리 빠지는 위험일 수가 있고.
붙여서.
Dunse. Support. Bubbly. Lucid. KongDoo Uncia.
All right, KongDoo Uncia fighting for survival as well, and they had some interesting stuff in their last match against Runaway. I liked Dance's Reaper on King's Row Defense. Worked pretty well.
It was the right time and the right usage of Reaper, which I think is more than we can say of EnVyUs. Sometimes you feel like they're defaulting to Reaper because of their hero pool limitations, and that Harry Hook has to go over
really
onto that
it.
hero. But now that he's playing Zarya, he's able to take some of his good tracking and translate that to a new off-tank form of play.
Sure.
But is that going to be stifling for them? Because I feel like an EnVyUs, when you conceptualize an EnVyUs victory tonight, basically Taimu's going to have to go Super Saiyan because everybody else has been more or less shunted off into supporting roles. And for KongDoo Uncia, I feel are a lot more paths to victory, especially when we think about Birdring and his capabilities as a massive player with a massive hero pool and a lot of flexibility.
So both of these teams, too, lately I think struggling a little bit in the ult management department.
Yes.
For Uncia especially, a team that seems so well coordinated with those flanks, with their team fights in general, a return to form for them would be, a big deal in terms of winning this match.
And you're seeing what you expect to see here again.
Sure.
A lot of triple tank, one of those tanks being Roadhog and the other being a long-range hit scan, which that's been the MO for both Envy and KongDoo this season, even though we've seen more diversity from KongDoo, even if they're not as confident in, say, their Genji Tracer pairings as teams like Runaway or Lunatic High that we saw in our first match.
Well, out of our 4 control maps, we'll see what the first one is going to be tonight. And the choice is going to be the map known as, they're really building the suspense, aren't they? There we go, Ilios. Ilios will be our control map to start things off with. And again, it's all about ult management on these control maps. Both teams kind of struggling a little bit with that in recent times. And will Taimu carry?
Yeah, overall, though, KongDoo Uncia is still 3-1 this season on control. You expect them to take it.
I think so, yeah.
To really take a hard win in this first point. But Envy, they've got to clean up their control and assault. They must, I think, win one of those if they're going to win tonight, because it's unlikely they're going to be able to clean sweep Hybrid and Escort. And they are a combined 1-7 on control and assault this season. It's abysmal.
All right, it's a battle for survival. Fight for your life. EnVyUs versus KongDoo Uncia. Let's go to Ilios and see who takes the early lead.
I get it.
Perhaps the last I get it for one of these teams. Well, I might have them before the other maps, I guess.
I think we're
One
going
of the
to be
last,
able to get it a few more times, Noah.
We will.
Tonight.
But will EnVyUs or KongDoo Uncia? That's the question.
Well, it has to be a return to form for one of these teams.
Yeah.
I think it is a mixed bag as to who can take this. If KongDoo can reclaim some of their ult efficiency and teamwork that has gone out the window, then I think they will come out with a big advantage. But Envy likewise has not been as on point this season.
Certainly struggled a bit with the patch changes, with the meta shifting away from something they were really well suited for.
And last time we saw Envy play on Ruins, they did run the Widowmaker, they did win. But
They did, yeah.
this time, they, I guess, are anticipating the Genji and the Tracer coming out, so it will be a McCree for Taimu, one of his traditionally strong heroes instead.
That's right, pretty standard stuff. KongDoo Uncia push back slightly as Taimu fires away at the Reinhardt shield. Gotta worry about, oh, he landed the flashbang actually. Yeah, that's gonna push Dance back for the moment. Butcher gets the kill into Coco though, so good start for Uncia as Dance looks for the kill into Taimu, gets booped away though by Internet Hulk on that Lucio pick.
Yeah, but Bubbly actually kills Mickey.
Oh man.
And so the point will flip to KongDoo Uncia. So
Really fast control.
I mean, Envy had a great composition for dealing with this. You talk about the Diva Zarya, or Diva Winston rather. Excuse me, I'm misspeaking all over the place. The Zarya and the Winston and the McCree if you want to deal with the Genji and the Tracer getting into your back lines, but somehow the front line's going to collapse. And
We're still recovering from that last best of 5, man. Don't worry about it. That was awesome. Taimu coming in from the side now. Houston taking a little bit of damage here. And Envy's kind of bottled up inside this hallway. Butcher's just going to walk right in and do a ton of damage. There goes Harry Hook on that Zarya. Chipsian diving onto the point. Can't build a whole lot of control percent. And that was not the greatest fight for EnVyUs ever. Meanwhile, Taimu, though, still alive somehow, some way. Not a lot of health remaining, though. And yeah, he's not going to last too long. EnVyUs will have to go back to square one.
yeah, Envy
50 control percent now for KongDoo Uncia.
Envy did get 2 ults out, but only 2. And we see the typical action by KongDoo Uncia where they do nano boost the Zarya to help Butcher get a lot more of those Graviton surges up. It's been one of the more effective strategies by top teams as this season of Apex has gone on.
Wow, Deadeye, they're going to dive right onto Taimu, and they're going to actually take him out with a Pulse Bomb. Dance with a big play on the Tracer. And now Coco just left swinging in the wind.
Envy going to be coming up on 6 ults though, so that's, or 5 ults rather, as Taimu did use the Deadeye to try and zone that very assertive play from KongDoo. Maybe slightly unnecessary.
Maybe.
Butcher switches to the Diva right now. It's not really going to help them stop any of the ultimates that Envy has available to them, except for maybe Harry Hooks if he can eat them.
They really want to hold it to 99%. Earth Shatter was used. And now, Sound Barrier, Bird Ring, pulls out the Dragon Blade, goes after Taimu. Taimu not landing that flashbang, he's going to get taken down. Bird Ring looking for another victim, goes for Harry Hook, gets booped away though. Now on to Chipsian maybe, he's got the nano boost at the end of that ultimate, just doing as much damage as he can. There goes Coco, now Chip's in a lot of trouble, and EnVyUs just doesn't seem to be able to put together a fight to take the point, and KongDoo Uncia looks like they're going to take this one 100% to 0.
As looking that way, is Bird Ring just going to run interference at the choke, and that's it.
Yep.
Well, I don't know what to say. Envy definitely anticipated that the dive composition was coming. They didn't play the Widowmaker, which could have been weak to a Genji attack on the high ground where they've been successful before, and they tried to play a composition that would effectively counter Tracer and Genji by having a lot of ways to get through the Reflect, a lot of incidental and AoE damage to deal with the Tracer, and flashbangs to catch them out, and it was effectively a complete failure. So this is a really bad sign.
It's not looking good. And looks like we're moving over to Well for our second point here.
Time on the Roadhog now.
Yep.
And Harry onto the Soldier. KongDoo Uncia sticking with what worked for them. Dive composition yet again. This has not been what KongDoo Uncia has primarily done, but I think when you see the effectiveness that Lunatic High showed against Envy, that you prepare this way.
Dance game the backlines has to recall pretty quickly though. Does a decent amount of damage in the process. They've handled Dance for the moment. Taimu looking for some opportunities to hook, but it's hard to advance on the point that way. Getting a lot of healing though, that's for sure. Banker diving in. Oh, he gets
Great charge.
pinned though by Coco, yeah. Takes him on the fight early on. Taimu grabs that kill. And it looks like KongDoo Uncia, though, going to use the confusion to claim the point first, though. So EnVyUs fighting back.
It was really nicely played around the Winston bubble of the Zarya shield from KongDoo Uncia to nail the charge, have the follow-up there with Taimu, finish off the kill, and then take out the backline. So Harry Hook getting the damage down with the Soldier and the Helix Rocket. Now they are firmly in control at this point. So fighting back here on Well.
Yeah, looking very definitive in that fight. Everyone hitting their marks. And EnVyUs gets a decent amount of control percent building early on.
Okay, everybody regrouping now to be a little bit more cautious with how they deal with that Reinhardt.
Anchor using that shield to come in. A bit deep. Dance already gets to with the pulse bomb. We didn't see that on camera. We can see it on the kill feed. And KongDoo Uncia winning the fight big time. We didn't get to see the fight, but
well, I'll tell you what happened. Butcher
I think we can
used
tell.
Graviton Surge,
Yeah,
and then there was a big bang.
Yeah.
And then they won because Harry Hook was entirely zoned out of that combat by a Zarya bubbled Panker. So finding people isolated on the side, pushing 2 people out for 1, and then winning the 5-4.
This has a nice little ult advantage. They're going to try to use it with the sound barrier and the nano boost. Getting ready. Harry Hook doing the damage he can. Taimu already with the kill onto Bubbly. And it's looking like a good start for EnVyUs here as soon as they take out the primal raging Panker. Oh, Harry Hook nearly jumping in the pit there. All right, that's it. EnVyUs slipping the point back, looking a lot better on Well than they did on Ruin so far.
Harry having one of his better Soldier points when we compare his play over the last 2 best-of-5s where he has struggled to return to the hit scan form that he displayed in their victorious first season of Apex.
Yep.
It's nice to see that he's efficiently cleaning up some of these kills. Coco looking for the shatter.
Now, oh, he drops it but doesn't get anything done because of the Winston shield. Meanwhile, Birdring gets onto Chip Zion. Not a great start. Harry Hook with not a lot of life remaining. Can't get to the health pack in time. And Uncia should be able to flip this point back easily.
This one has been highly back and forth.
Oh, yeah.
Mickey uses the Primal Rage, has to jump out just to stay alive. So KongDoo Uncia, they are in pretty nice control now. They're going to have 3 ults to 0, or to 1 now. They're waiting for the attack visor. Maybe Envy can flip this back soon if they have a good nano visor.
I've seen this one before.
Yeah, I think we know how this ends.
Yeah. All right. And they don't check the corners and they Graviton Surge. There we go. Call that one. And where's the follow-up? Big Bang coming in. Gets killed to Mickey right away on that Winston. Dance not surviving too long after that as Harry Hook comes in with the nano visor. And it looks like for now, EnVyUs does reclaim the point. Dodges that Earth Shatter. Harry Hook keeping it alive for the moment. Coco very low health though. Birdring gets a nano boost. They gotta run. They gotta be careful here. Harry Hook trying to avoid him. Now the Dragon Blade comes up and Birdring having trouble finding targets. Finally finds Chip Zion. Finds Internet Hulk. Got him in the end. Reflects the hook. Reflects the right click into Taimu. And KongDoo should be able to reclaim this one again.
Yeah, that's it didn't start out well. Coco got out of the pulse bomb by using charge. First kill didn't actually end up making that big of a difference considering that Envy answered immediately, but the extended period of the fight saw the Genji ultimate come up immediately with the nano boost.
Yeah.
Nobody's got any ults now to try and push this point, but Hulk approaching the sound barrier.
91 to 95 control percent as Harry finds himself very, very low health. Taimu looping around the side looking for a pick. You find it. There's a sound barrier from it. He gets the pick onto Bubbly. That's big. Manages to heal his way through the pulse bomb too. EnVyUs trying to fight back now. Internet Hulk. Oh, it's a Boostio.
Oh,
Internet
no.
Hulk.
Okay.
Doesn't matter though. Boostio is just a harbinger of doom as EnVyUs takes a point back.
Well, that was scary. You're an Envy fan for half a second there, but
Coco gets a very late kill onto Panker as well. And they're going to take it. EnVyUs ties up Ilios.
back and forth. Such a close point, and nearly disaster striking with the Boostio at the end.
Boostio is not disaster. Boostio is opportunity.
I see. You have the optimism of a Lucio too.
That's right. Time to accelerate.
So this is a big point.
Yeah.
I think, again, if Envy wants to have a chance at this best of 5, they've got to take either Assault or Control, because I don't think they can repeat what they did against MVP Infinity to start their season and just win on Hybrid and Escort to win 3-2.
So there was good ult management overall from EnVyUs that last game, and Harry Hook had a great 76 game.
That KongDoo played really well too.
Yeah, everything came together. But they need to repeat it again on Lighthouse.
Okay, Mickey on the Diva on Lighthouse, and they have swapped Dance over to Diva as well.
Well, Taimu goes down really early, was not ready for Birdring. Birdring's done a great job of avoiding those flashbangs, though. KongDoo Uncia backing off to get their tanks a bit more health.
Well, one thing we saw when Envy was playing Lunatic High was that Taimu was playing the flanks very heavily on McCree, often all by himself.
Yeah.
And it looked right there that KongDoo Uncia knew that he might be in that position and took advantage of him very quickly.
Yeah. I mean, when you're a McCree against a Genji, you're like Eminem, man. You've just got one shot, and if you don't hit it, then you're dead. Your career is over.
The opportunity of a lifetime is gone.
That's right, Mom Spaghetti. Coco, turned into Mom Spaghetti as Birdring takes him down with the dash. Taimu on the side, but not a lot of support. Envy is trying to take the point back. They build a little bit of control percent. Uncia needs to get there to stop this. Internet Hulk kind of on his own right now, but now they send in Mickey on the Diva. There's the nano boost onto Birdring, though, going after Harry Hook on that Zarya. Takes him down. Here comes a Dragon Blade. Takes a quick nap, and he comes up again. Yep. Very quick napping. Coco on the run. Oh, those left clicks. So close.
Yeah, it looked like somebody woke him up right there. Looked like it was Taimu behind. Gave him an extra kill. Probably not actually that impactful considering the reset was coming regardless.
Uncia on the defensive now. To hold the point.
I mean, Envy never got the point through all of that either.
Oh, Earthshatter, I think that claimed a few. Coco dodges a charge. Sound Barrier comes in for KongDoo Uncia. All right, Graviton Surge. EnVyUs trying to capitalize on it. They're going to send in Coco. Oh yeah, that worked pretty well. And that may be a point taken back by EnVyUs. Harry Hook just chasing down Dance.
A lot of ults wasted there by KongDoo Uncia. They opened with the Earth Shatter, then used the Sound Barrier. Envy just holding strong behind the Reinhardt shield, knowing that they had the Graviton Surge in reserve with that nano boost. So Coco actually nearly charges all the way up to his Earth Shatter by slamming through 3 or 4 people in the Graviton with his hammer.
I think the change for Taimu off of the McCree onto the Tracer has helped as well. He's been able to flank a little bit more effectively, and he just doesn't seem to be able to handle Birdring right now.
I mean, if you want to play the flanks, then maybe you should be on the Tracer rather than the McCree.
Yeah, I would say so. Graviton Surge. Ooh, that gets a lot of members. Sound Barrier from Internet Hulk tries to keep him safe, but there's a bigger bang. Dance grabs 2 with the Diva ultimate. And now Envy is in huge trouble. It's KongDoo Uncia going to try to reclaim this point. Gypsian just trying to delay as long as he can, but there's only so much Nana can do.
Well, you're not going to be healing with a Diva with the defense matrix in front of you, too. Cutting off all the heals from the members of Envy that were outside of the point. So Envy fights back.
They do, somehow, some way.
KongDoo is still going to eventually come through with this.
Ooh, so close. Got him during the call down. And Mickey just can't get back into the mech. Thought we were going to maybe get to see a sick mech kill, but you got to be pretty low health for that to work.
Yeah.
I think I've killed like 1 person with call down mech.
Ever?
Yeah, I've tried so hard to do a lot, but it's fun. Birdring pulls out the Nano Blade again. Nice charge onto Coco, taking him out of the fight early on. Gypsian on his own, cut off from the rest of his team. And Uncia up to 97 control percent, 98, 99. There's OT. Taimu on the point by himself right now. Can't survive though, and that is going to be it. KongDoo Uncia takes Ilios 2-1.
Wow. Well, that's a nice start for KongDoo Uncia. In that last fight, it was looking grim for EnVyUs because they only had 1 ult going in. And KongDoo Uncia smart just to throw everything they had at them. Worst case scenario, if they pick up the initial kills, maybe Envy sort of trickles back onto the point during overtime. And they lock it up. So Ilios to KongDoo Uncia, sort of what was predictable given the strengths of these 2 teams. And it puts Envy in an increasingly awkward position where they've got to clean up a lot of these hybrid and payload maps to win a best of 5. And
That's going to be tough.
They slipped to 1-4 on control and 1-8 overall on control and assault.
Well, hasn't been their specialty. See what they pick for hybrid. Try to get back in the series. You know, it was very back and forth on point 2 at least. They did win that one. It was not quite as close on 1 and 3.
Yeah, I think EnVyUs will make this a series just because they
they
are
should.
strong on payload maps, but it's when you are so weak on 2/5 of the map pool, you are always going to be challenging yourself to win a best of 5.
All right, we're going to Hollywood. It's going to be EnVyUs' choice for the hybrid map. They have liked this one in the past. They have had success on it, certainly.
And they're a Symmetra team, so
Absolutely.
Symmetra.
Haven't seen as much of it lately from them, but if they want to run it, at least it's a map where it's in your opponent's mind anyway.
Yeah, Symmetra or Torbjorn, but definitely hold more of a Symmetra player on the whole.
More of a Lucio player lately.
That's true. But he's got the pocket base. Got the pocket Winston when they go single sport. Got the pocket Symmetra.
Yeah. KongDoo Uncia trying to deny EnVyUs that Lunatic High rematch. We'll see if they can get one step closer to doing just that on Hollywood. Let's get in the game and see who takes it. All right, welcome to Hollywood. KongDoo Uncia on the defense to start things off with. EnVyUs. Wow, EnVyUs. A lot of fans here in Korea, but after winning last season and just being so darn adorable, they've captured the hearts of Korean fans everywhere.
Captured all of our hearts, Noah.
Oh, yes. Absolutely.
All right, KongDoo Uncia. Pharah defense. Okay.
All right, unique.
Pharah Mercy defense. Not particularly common here on Hollywood.
I mean, we know Birdring can play the Pharah.
Oh yeah, Birdring can play basically anything. He's like Korean Tavik.
Pretty much.
Him and Libero
Yeah.
have been particularly impressive when it comes to the depth of their hero pools.
Well, I mean, let's look at things that this Pharah can do. Obviously, you can get a lot of poke damage as they come through the choke. That's not a bad thing. And you can knock the attacking team off of a lot of the high ground places that teams like to set up on. So it's just a very disruptive defense. You know, you just try to take your opponent's game plan and break it apart.
Yeah, especially if they come through the choke, you can move that Reinhardt with a concussive blast.
Right.
Panker looking for a boosted Fire Strike to get some ult. Doesn't actually find anything because there is a Diva from Vicky. Timer will be on the Widowmaker.
Ooh, and that's a dangerous thing if you are playing the pharmacy on the other side.
Yeah,
You had to expect the Widowmaker too, so that part of it is a bit puzzling, isn't it?
yeah. I'm a bit weirded out as to the Pharah and the Mercy when the Widowmaker has been a common offensive pick and it's just plain pick overall for Envy.
That's right. Mickey on the high ground, hard to get rid of him.
Also, there's a
Taimu.
Diva to eat all the rockets, so.
Taimu being very aggressive with his positioning on this Widowmaker, but there's no one really to get back to him. Birdring on that Pharah, not a big danger apparently. And they're already claiming that point. Birdring on the run, and this pharmacy defense has not been super great. There goes
Here we
Birdring,
go.
yep. And, you know, I guess, what did you expect?
Okay. Be KongDoo Uncia.
Sure.
You know they love to play Diva and Widowmaker. Maybe
Yeah.
you don't run Pharmacy
Yeah.
on a point A defense. That's incredibly rare to see. There's a lot of room on that point. Even if you just have a Soldier or an Ana, there are lots of long sight
Oh.
lines.
Hilariously choosing to run it against absolutely the worst team to run it against.
Well, Birdring is going to try for Widowmaker duels, Doa, and that means some exciting sniping action. He's going
Oh,
to take
yes.
out Hulk immediately.
We're looking for the foot shot. Not finding it. All right. Well, we saw Saya player try to take on Taimu, Widowmaker v Widowmaker, and it did not go well for Saya player, so we'll see if Birdring can do any better. The gauntlet has been thrown. Earthshatter has been thrown as well as EnVyUs pushes his payload ever forward.
As de-seating the Diva right on top of that payload, chasing out Envy. Clean as can be
Oh, wow, so close.
as they roll through Westworld.
Yeah.
Much better from EnVyUs. This is probably the best we've seen them play in the last 3 best-of-5s, including this one. I'm really amused. I'm really amused by this Widowmaker versus Widowmaker.
I mean, you just don't do it. You don't play Widowmaker versus type as Widowmaker. Graviton Surge comes in, bigger bang. Mickey does get the kill on Lucid, but he gets it as Mini Diva. And Dance pushing these guys back now. Harry Hook, ooh, nailed with the Earth Shatter. Taimu, though, gets the kill on the, or, never mind, he's not killing his own players. That's Bird Ring.
Too many Widowmakers.
I see Widowmaker in the kill feed, and I assume it's Taimu. All right, so it's going to be a hold for KongDoo Uncia. Coco's in jail. He's going to break out. He's on the run. Oh, no. The fugitive was slain in the escape attempt.
That's usually what happens, actually.
It's self-defense.
KongDoo committed a huge number of ults to that.
Yeah.
And the fact that they failed that bigger bang pretty spectacularly. The timing was just off around the Graviton Surge. Envy will be returning now with an Earth Shatter to work with, but Bubbly at least will have the sound barrier, and that should nullify a lot of that damage that goes through during the crowd control. So this may go on for a couple minutes longer.
Certainly could. And we're trying to get kills through that shield. Uh-oh! Gonna push Bird Ring off there. There's a ladder in the way of the payload. How'd that get there? Self-destruct for both Divas. And, oh, kills for both Divas. 2 Taimu somehow caught by Dances, and Mickey gets Dance. So I guess it equals out. This has gotten really weird. Mickey takes on Bird Ring before taking a bit of a nap. Harry Hook low health. Ooh, gotta be careful there. Gets back to the big health pack. He makes it, but he's still on his own. 1v2. Gonna try to rocket jump his way away from there. This is cue the Benny Hill theme. Okay, finally goes down.
Sadly, Mega Health Packs are not going to regenerate that quickly.
Yep.
And KongDoo Uncia finds themselves coming into this next fight with a big ult edge. And Taimu is now tired of Widowmaker versus Widowmaker shenanigans. Changes to McCree. I think that for this next fight, the goal has to be, with the payload relatively close to point B, let's just go ahead and zone them out once you get the Deadeye. Make sure that we get some more movement on the payload and clean up these last couple of minutes on the push.
Bird Ring still content to be on the Widowmaker. Butcher throwing down the Graviton Surge, setting up more Taimu, or gets a kill on the Butcher actually. Sound barrier for EnVyUs, making it hard for Bird Ring to get these picks. Did I say hard? I should not have said that. Sorry, Taimu.
It's okay, the payload's still going to be moving, though. At a certain point, Bird Ring is going to have to drop down onto it. Mickey
looking for revenge.
Hunting for French women.
Hey, well, I mean, I'm not going to judge his preferences. Takes out Bird Ring. And KongDoo Uncia manages to get back to the payload Anyway, Harry Hook barely surviving, but there's a nano boost. Now onto Panker, who fights back. And EnVyUs, not going to take any of that, any of those shenanigans.
Can't really do much, though, with the nano boost, considering he's the last one left alive. So, point being taken now by EnVyUs. The push continues, slowed down in Westworld, but KongDoo, they put a lot of ultimates into that last hold, and they're going to be pretty weak at the start of the studio phase. Taimu with the Deadeye might be able to push this relatively far, depending on whether or not Dance is able to get into his face effectively with the defensive matrix.
All right, time for the self-destruct.
They have a lot of zoning power with self-destruct and Deadeye.
Yes, they do.
Very useful for...
There's one. KongDoo Uncia drops theirs first time. He gets out of range. Whoa! How in the world did Dance get Coco and Harry Hook there?
I'm not actually sure there wasn't any other crowd control used by KongDoo Uncia.
No, there was no CC. Just a good angle on the self-destruct, I guess.
Caught unawares, it would seem. Taimu,
surprising.
Epic Diva battle, and his flashbang will get eaten, but wins control of the high ground in the end. And Bird Ring still on this Widowmaker on defense. This is...
I love watching Mickey and Taimu play together because Mickey does such a great job with the Diva of enabling Taimu on the Widowmaker and on things like the McCree.
In the last few matches, it seems like Mickey has basically just become Taimu's bodyguard.
Yeah, oh, gets a kill to Lucid. That's big as they push forward here. No nano boost. Lucid did have it up, but Butcher going in for the Graviton Surge. Sound barrier used as well. There's a nano boost for Coco. Big Earth Shatter. Bubbly knocked down, and there's the self-destruct for Mickey finally. Not getting out of that one. And it looks like they've got Butcher kind of on his own here for the moment.
Harry barely living and then getting healed up. That's actually huge. He's able to stay upright over the course of this battle.
So
Nano
close.
Boost comes through, and the reinforcements from Envy are coming in.
So close, but yet so far as EnVyUs has to back away for the moment.
Yeah, very, very close there. They do desuit the Diva, which means their next attack, they are going to be a Diva suit up. Unless we see some very fast ult charging here, only 64% for Dance right now. There will be a timing window to work with on this. Harry Hook wants to land a great graviton. There isn't a defensive matrix right now to stop him.
There it is, Birdring on his own as well.
Oh no!
He actually grapples his way out of that. Nice little move there. No kills for that. Taimu does pop Diva out of the suit though. Dan's kind of on his own. And now there's the Nano Boost as he goes after Lucid. Lucid goes down, and Panker, the lone man on the cart for the moment, and they may have it here. They're pushing. They've got it. EnVyUs with a pretty decent amount of time left on the clock, I believe. I didn't catch it towards the end.
It looked like it was about, I think, a minute 40. But
that's not bad.
It's not bad for Hollywood.
No.
Their timing on that last push, you could see Envy returning to a bit of their old form. They looked more composed.
Yeah.
Through the studio, they took enough time to set it up. When they desuited the enemy Diva, they backed off. They tried to abuse it by killing the Diva or catching her in the backline with the Widowmaker before she could resuit. Timing wasn't exactly perfect there, but they did end up desuiting her immediately thereafter while the front line took care of the people who were trying to block the cart.
Yeah.
But the setup was much more deliberate. It looked as though Envy's communication was clear. But when we've seen Envy start out with clearer communication and more disciplined ult usage, what I've noticed is the longer the best of 5 goes on, the more that degrades. It seems to fall apart as the deeper we get into the maps. So I wonder if Envy does have some issue in terms of long-term concentration in these best of 5s or ability to keep up that rapid pace of communication. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
Speaking of degrading, Harry Hook back on the Lucio. You've been demoted. But it is going to be the hyper full hold comp as we've got Mickey on the Torbjorn.
We've seen it.
Internet Hulk back on the Symmetra. Yeah, we've seen it, just not too often.
Why not? Why not go for the full hold right here?
Yeah. I think it's fine.
And by that, though, when I said a minute 40, we meant 8.7 seconds. So
Oh, yeah, that's correct. It's
joke.
close to a minute 40.
We were really paying attention
It's
there.
close to a minute 40. That's one of the few times where, like, I say I don't know, and you usually say, oh, I don't know, I've checked, but you made a guess. You pulled a Doa, man. You assumed. Whoopsie.
No, it was a very good last push there from Envy. I was enthralled with their positioning.
It seemed like they did it faster. Widowmaker just makes the time fly by. What can you say? All right, EnVyUs, again, with that full hold comp, see how it works out. KongDoo Uncia going for a pretty typical triple tank.
And Mickey didn't get hardly any old charge off of the turret placement. Now they're going to figure out there's a Symmetra too, and we're going to see the Cafe attack.
Internet Hulk didn't get a lot of percent either. And, I mean, when you see this comp, you just bull rush it, right? But Panker does go down, so Envy is able to stuff the push.
This is something that Meta Athena did when they played against EnVyUs. So I actually like that KongDoo Uncia has made this adaptation, because remember, Envy also tried the Symmetra and Torbjorn defense on Hollywood versus Meta Athena. And because you never see coverage of Cafe with turrets, with either of those heroes, they did a very unusual Cafe rush. So KongDoo Uncia just tried to duplicate that, but Envy this time was much better at stacking members at the bottom of Cafe. That said, Birdring still has now managed to make it onto the high ground.
Birdring is in Cafe. Yeah, this is a problem right now.
It took longer, though, than last time.
I put you there for a bit of protection. On the 76 and EnVyUs.
Mickey getting really close to ult. Internet Hulk has already dropped his shield.
Yeah, Coco actually, or Internet Hulk put down the barrier.
Yep. But it's in a weird place.
I mean, it's in a place where you're going to just sit and defend it. We've seen Symmetras be much more mobile with where they put it now. Coco has a nano boost, and with the shields, it's looking pretty good. Meanwhile, nano boost onto Butcher. Internet Hulk has managed to protect his barrier for the moment.
He has the Volt core. He's going to have to rebuild his turret, though.
Yeah. Gotta keep it alive.
It's actually really annoying to be Torbjorn against Diva, because even if she does 1 HP, you can't actually build up that turret.
Yeah. Oh, Birdring pops attack visor.
But he dies to the turret.
I was going to say, yeah, that's a Torbjorn play of the game moment right there. And KongDoo Uncia maybe a little bit confused about where that barrier might be.
This is actually super funny. So, Envy obviously learning from their past mistakes,
Yeah.
and KongDoo Uncia thinking they had the same read, but fortunately this time Envy is not going to be surprised by that attack. Birdring
by barrier.
Yeah, that's done so. But
Yeah.
they still have the Molten Core, so time for Symmetra to build up some ult charge yet again. And KongDoo Uncia now doing a more traditional attack, but Birdring is going to get one shot by Taimu.
That helps. And I mean, EnVyUs, despite losing the barrier from Symmetra, they still have all that armor from Mickey's Torbjorn, so they've still got the extra health.
It's so obnoxious when you get these comps with a successful defense or two, because you get so much armor, you get the shields, you get the Molten Core, they become so entrenched.
That would have been sick if that hook had landed. Butcher coming in with the nano boost now, got the sound barrier as well. Harry Hook with the tag visor takes down Dance very quickly. Mickey pops the Molten Core. It looks like that's going to be enough. Yeah, man. It's the auto-aim ult composition bonanza.
It's a great name for it. Hulk has his ult back up again, so it's not getting any easier for KongDoo Uncia.
Yep.
And Envy's very static defense-based composition that was failed so spectacularly against Meta Athena is now in full motion against KongDoo Uncia, and they are not having very many answers to it.
Where did you put the barrier? I think you put it behind him in the normal place now.
Yeah, I assume because of his current positioning, that's where he put it.
Probably.
Dance onto the Pharah.
Yeah, that's right. Looking for the barrier. Oh no, it's the barrier's behind the point actually. Birdring takes out the turret. It's an okay start. Nobody's gone back though. You know, 2 turrets. Oh, Taimu with the hook on the Butcher. That's huge. And this is really looking like a full hold from EnVyUs. Oh yeah, no trouble at all. EnVyUs with a clean full hold, no OT even. And man, that's a fun comp to win with, no doubt.
It is, and it's just like once you lose the first 2 fights, how do you get rid of them? You have to commit so much to killing the turrets or to killing the shield generator. Now we've seen teams in Korea, once the shield generator comes up, just dedicate a whole push to like 6-man charging the shield barrier to eliminate it, and then hoping that they're successful with their next push instead. And that's also worked, but looks like KongDoo Uncia's playbook did not go any deeper than mimic what Meta Athena did against it, and then have no idea.
Credit to Internet Hulk too for putting the barrier back behind the point the second time, really kind of varying where he put it down. And
Well, he didn't want to put it where he put it the first time. He just didn't have a choice.
But, you know, as someone who's played Symmetra a lot, sometimes you just got to get that ult down, man.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, he did the right thing. It was just tragic.
It lasted longer than it should have, really, so it worked out. But we're going to take a quick break, guys, and when we come back, we'll see who breaks the tie. Don't go anywhere. Apex right after this. welcome back to Overwatch Apex Season 2 Energized by Hot 6. I haven't done that in a while, so I thought I'd do it.
I like it. It's your best Terry Crews impression.
Thank you. I would never aspire to
Really?
ape Terry Crews.
I would
try to
aspire to
copy
that.
him.
That's pretty great.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like you just can't do Terry Crews like Terry
But
Crews.
we can,
so don't even try.
we can aspire.
Don't even
to be
try.
like Terry Crews.
I was just excited about Hot 6. That's all.
As usual.
Who wouldn't be? Well, it's all tied up between EnVyUs and KongDoo Uncia. Again, the winner moves on to play Lunatic High for the final semifinal spot from Group A. The loser is done. Out of Apex Season 2.
One-on-one, though, and winning the maps that we might have expected them to be victorious on, but now we move into the dreaded Assault. And it's not that KongDoo Uncia has been amazing on Assault, but NV has been dreadful. But they've got to do something here. It's going to be Anubis selected by KongDoo.
Sure enough, Temple of Anubis will be our third map of the match. That's a great Widowmaker map, isn't it?
I feel like you're okay with this if you're NV.
I think so. Time was like, I think I can make something work on this map. What hero should I play? Hard to choose.
Well, if KongDoo Uncia's other map, they didn't expect the Widowmaker, it would appear on Hollywood offense.
I don't know how
Maybe
you would.
they're not going to expect it
Widowmaker.
here either.
Like, oh man, he played Widowmaker last map. I bet he won't play it on Temple of Anubis though. Let's find out as we get in the game. Hey, we're back at Temple of Anubis. You know, I can't wait until this year's Halloween event because I got a feeling like a giant robot mummy is just going to pop out of that thing. That would be great.
That would be really funny.
You're welcome, Blizzard. You can use that idea.
Once you start stalling on defense, the robot mummy comes out and just smites the defensive team.
That would be so good. You are not worthy to defend my sarcophagus.
You switch to May, Tracer, and Diva. Bam!
So cheap. Uninstall.
Nothing like
That'd be
Esports
great.
with multiple
Uh-oh, did Runner
zoom-ins.
hit him too?
Runner's going crazy. He can't be stopped.
Stop this guy. Hitting everybody. Hitting the ceiling. Damaging the booth. I'm glad they got the booth fixed in time. Whoa.
All right, Bird Ring. Maybe on the Sombra on this map. Sombra, of course, does have those 2 mega health packs outside of the initial gates to hack and get that ult up very quickly. A lot of verticality, too, to use the translocator. We've seen Rascal here in Korea from their sister team, KongDoo Panthera, use the Sombra very effectively, but that was on King's Row.
That says Kappa in Egyptian. Pretty sure.
Oh, it's Genji. Damn it, Doa.
Oh, sadness. Now back to the dive. More or less.
Well, it's a single support defense for EnVyUs, the likes of which we have frequently seen from them. Now Internet Hulk on the Winston, and the Arch defense going well so far, but instant dive.
I was going to say, yeah, they are going ham. It's a brawl on top of the high ground. Coco with the first kill on the Panker, though. Birdring can't get to the health pack. He dies on top of it.
So why KongDoo did that was they were not expecting single support defense. So when they saw the fact that Mickey was on top of the Arch, they thought they could maybe have an even fight or a man advantage by going onto the point, but turns out there were a hell of a lot of tanks sitting on top of that. One more than they anticipated. Now they know, and I doubt they're going to make that same mistake again.
Internet Hulk doing his best Miro impression there. He's going to dive in. Harry Hook on the run. Nearly has that tac visor built up, though, so a great start for EnVyUs off the bat.
I don't know why they keep diving. I thought they wouldn't dive onto the quad tank again.
I have similar questions, but they look very well prepared on this map.
Actually,
That
Tyler
said,
dying to a very high energy Zarya. She's
was
already
gonna say-
nano boosted.
I was going to say, that said,
Oh man, Coco died with Shatter too. This is not a good start. That Zarya ended up doing an immense amount of damage to their front line. That's actually going to be a capture.
yeah. All right, just like that. what looked to be a pretty solid defense for EnVyUs is just shattered completely by KongDoo Uncia's push, and now they're going to come into point B with probably nearly 5 ultimates.
Yeah, and Hulk resets onto Lucio, but Penker also going to make a change to the Reinhardt. So we are going to even out when it comes to ults. That was a pretty fast push. I'm surprised KongDoo Uncia was able to jam that one through.
Yeah, same. A lot of ults on both sides, though. Mickey just being annoying on the high ground like you do, getting a lot of damage on the Penker, actually. Very annoying. And he's managed to split Lucid off for the rest of the fight, but that doesn't stop him from getting the sound barrier. Gonna go for the bigger bang. Dance gets 2, though, on the attack. Good Graviton surge for KongDoo Uncia. Good start. Birdring grabs Chip's Iron. And he's going after Mickey as well. So KongDoo Uncia getting a little bit of control percent building, trying to take down the Internet Hulk. They finally get him. Mickey just being annoying on that Diva, trying to delay as long as he can. There's the self-destruct. And he does get Butcher.
But he dies before he can resuit.
Yeah, but gets a kill with it anyway. Taimu, though, not getting anything done before he gets taken down by Birdring yet again. Another kill on the Harry Hook. Uh-oh.
And Hulk doesn't quite get all the way up the sarcophagus.
Get up the sarcophagus. Oh, booped off. This is my sarcophagus, says Bubbly. It's way too big for you, though. It's a giant robot sarcophagus. Internet Hulk trying to keep things alive on the point. This is Temple of Anubis. We are pre-Bastion patch, so the rules have not been instituted yet to make the longer spawn timers come in. Uncia still fighting it out. Birdring pulls out the Dragon Blade. Another kill on the Chips as he's got the Nano Boost as well. Oh, Earth Shatter comes through, though. Panker responding, though. Where's the follow-up? Birdring with the kill on the Internet Hulk again. Another self-destruct. Second one of the fight. Third one of the fight, actually, overall. And 2 ticks on the control meter built up by KongDoo Uncia already. They're slowly but surely winning this one. Harry Hook gets a Nano Boost. Can't get a lot done with, though. It's a surprising decision. Just trying to keep the point alive for EnVyUs, though.
He's trying to get all the supports, but he's not able to actually finish anyone off. So another 2 kills, but the trickle of EnVyUs players continues.
Yeah, Internet Hulk again just staying alive for so long, denying that. But Birdring gets a couple kills himself, though, and that is it. KongDoo Uncia, 2 points after a lengthy point B fight.
And I know how much is on the clock at this time, Noah.
How
4
much is
minutes,
it?
9 seconds.
Perfect, thank you.
Respectable time.
Yeah.
In the bank for KongDoo Uncia. Took him a while after the push, but this has not been the forte of Envy, who are increasingly looking like they're backing themselves into a corner of being forced to win all payload maps.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what they can do on offense here. It is another Taimu Widowmaker map. But, you know, point A has not been a problem for EnVyUs. It's point B.
Well, that said, Doa, I do think that point B on Anubis, this is why I wouldn't have picked Anubis, not only because of the Widowmaker on point A, but because Reaper is actually quite effective on attack on point B on Anubis, because there's a lot of closed corridors around the point. There are a lot of ways to hide behind the point and then pop out and get a lot of close range damage down, or pop out with a Death Blossom. So when I think about the hero pools and some of the strengths of Envy, maybe Hanamura was not available today, but maybe you go for the Volskaya instead.
Well, it all depends on how things work out. Butcher is not giving himself any entertaining sprays, sadly.
Tragic, really.
We are pretty familiar with the game logo, Butcher. You could have done a little bit more creative. It's like, what does this mean?
There you go. Bubbly comes in. Just sprays right over it.
What is it about Overwatch? I thought they were supposed to be good guys, but they're all graffiti artists, apparently. They're all just, like, tagging everything.
Hey, there are some good guy graffiti artists, like
yeah, sure, but
Shepard Fairey. Come on.
I mean, sure, there's some great graffiti art out there. However,
Banksy. Let's go.
Generally, people don't like their stuff getting tagged.
Hey, it only just, if it's good, then people like it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, most of it is garbage.
I was going to say, most of it is just, you know, various specific members being drawn on things.
All right, Taimu lurking right now. Doesn't find anybody up at the top angle, but he doesn't want to commit to the high ground until he knows he's going to be unchallenged.
Yeah.
He's trying to see if anybody's up there already.
Bit of control percent built up as they get onto the point right now. Butcher chasing time away. Uh-oh. When I was a girl, I was afraid of giant space apes with lightning guns. Fight on the point right now as Dance goes down. EnVyUs actually taking charge of this one pretty quick.
Yeah, even though Butcher got back there, he was not with the rest of his team while they were being massacred on the point itself. Envy draws enough pressure into their back line to successfully take point A in spite of Taimu's death. Now Taimu staying on the Widow.
Yeah. Oh, it was all him on point A, of course. He's Widowmaker.
All right, so he will be maintaining the Widowmaker for the time being.
Yep.
Nobody has any ultimates because that take was so fast.
Puts us in an interesting position, but EnVyUs can just push, build as much as they can. Go for a bigger push later, but they're going to try to grind this one forward. Taimu just looking for the picks.
Chip's got Bird Ring. That's a huge. Now there's no pressure on Taimu whatsoever.
Dance is super low in the back as well. Taimu can come in the side. They give Harry Hook the nano boost. Takes out Bird Ring. Panker with the Earth Shatter, but no follow-up. Coco goes charging in. There goes the Lucio. Bubbly goes down to Mickey's charge. Great Graviton Surge actually to just keep them off the point. EnVyUs building up a bit of that control percent. Lucid. Oh, the Sleep Dart comes in. Mickey just pops the self-destruct. Yeah, for zoning purposes.
They're not getting much time though, Doa, because it's still contested. Not even a single tick yet, and so many ultimates used. Taimu was cleared out. They still have the sound barrier though. They still have the Earth Shatter.
Gotta go.
With Harry Hook dying, they need to make a change. Now Taimu, you're gonna stick on to the Widowmaker. That is the perpetual question of point B on Anubis. How long do you commit to the Widow? Seems as though Envy wants to do it for a little bit longer. Now, Bird Ring is on the Tracer. Has moved off of the Genji, so less of a threat to the Widowmaker on the whole. You can't get her on some of the higher positions nor reflect her.
All right, well, there's on the Panker. He goes down after getting knocked over. Sound Barrier is going to pave the way for EnVyUs to go for this push. Sound Barrier for Uncia as well. Used. It's going to wear off a little bit earlier, but again, you know, Taimu just can't fight off the Winston. Dance on the payload, going to get smashed. Probably with the kill in the Chip's Iron though, so it's pretty even on both sides. And with the respawns coming in, EnVyUs not going to be able to push this one too far.
Yeah, you expect though when you have a 2v1 and Taimu's able to tie them up for so long, plus the fact that you get the initial kill, that your front line will be able to take the point. But 2 sound barriers went out, that nullified the Earth Shatter from Coco.
Taimu finally swaps onto that McCree. I think that's the right decision.
Bird Ring and Bubbly now back on the Pharmacy for their defense. Taimu dodging off, gets a lot of ult charge.
He got a lot of hits.
Just by himself.
Yeah.
Harry has the Graviton, doesn't see a target he likes yet, but they Taimu goes down to Lucid. They have to back off.
Yeah, well, Primal Rage for Butcher, so they did draw out 1 ult at least. Bubbly on the Mercy now to pair with Bird Ring's Pharah.
Oh god, Butcher didn't make it up actually on top of the arch right there after his Primal Rage fell off and he reset his jump cooldown. And he gets actually picked off in front. That's huge. He didn't get the distance he wanted to, but Harry Hook dies, so they can't take advantage of it.
Not too bad.
He went out too far. Yeah, he went out too far there, but the punish can't come through.
Yeah, with Harry Hook dying, there's not enough. And EnVyUs will reset. Nearly up to 6 ults, though. Very close, in fact. All right, there it is. 5 ults, Taimu nearly has the Deadeye available. It's EnVyUs. This is the big push. They need to make something happen here. Get a couple
it's hard. It's going to be like 5 versus 6 ults, basically, because Rez is coming up.
All right, Harry Hook looking for that Graviton Surge. Going to go ahead and use it. Now the combo comes in. Big ultimate. This could be big for Mickey. Oh, he doesn't get any, though. Coco, though, does finish off Panker. Oh, and there's a barrage with the nano boost. Blocked by Coco. Nice sleep dart by Chip's Iron. Doesn't get a lot done, but here comes a res from Bubbly. Taimu with the Deadeye, though. They got to get rid of Panker. Oh, he gets hit with the Earth Shatter before he can pull the trigger. And Bird Ring with the cleanup now. EnVyUs blowing everything they had on that.
That was a spectacular team fight as both teams invested all of the ultimates they had accrued. But EnVyUs is still coming out on top in the end as Chips is able to pick off Bird Ring.
Well, slowly but surely. And Chips did do little things here and there, like the sleep dart onto Pharah during the ultimate. It's all adding up now. And if they can handle the respawns, again, they still don't have a single tick on the control meter yet, though.
The staggers have been good for KongDoo Uncia. They've consistently been able to keep one person on the point. Self-destruct buys them a tiny amount of time, but not much. Kills rolling in, however, Nano Boost used preemptively.
Well, they really want him to block the respawns, but they're coming in from the right side. That's not what they were expecting. Bubbly up on the pillar, finally gets taken out. Graviton
here it
Surge keeps
goes.
it away, and that's it. EnVyUs finishes with 2:17 left on the clock.
Less time in the time bank, but they may be able to push it into a draw. And that's probably what you're hoping to do if you're Envy, considering your opponents have twice the amount of time remaining to make a push. So full hold would be ideal for them. And maybe they can just take point A or trade point A for point A, and then we'll go to the sudden death.
Made such a big difference when Taimu swapped over to the Widowmaker that you wonder again if maybe it was a little bit too much of a, they were a bit too stubborn about sticking on the Widowmaker again on point B.
Yeah, I think that when you make that move, over to the McCree it can be valuable. Unless, if you have the Widow ult, even though Widow ult is not that powerful, let's say you're moving into point B, and the sight it can give you to abuse positioning is really good, especially if you have ultimates that can take advantage of that on your allies, right? Maybe you go for that one push, right? Or maybe you see if you can peek in and get the pick right away. But continuing to stick onto it, I think rarely works, and you're not really building valuable percent to a Widow ult if you don't already have it, when you could be getting charged towards a different hero's ult instead.
All right, Taimu on the Widowmaker yet again. EnVyUs hoping they can take point A as quickly as they did in their first push with just 2 minutes on the time bank, but I think they should be aware. Taimu's got that Widowmaker. Anchor's shield already getting a little bit low, so maybe he can capitalize on that. Meanwhile, Harry Hook in the thick of things. Lucy gets a kill on the Coco to start things off with, and EnVyUs gonna have a hard time pushing this one, I think.
So they came in with the same composition, but you notice the difference this time is that Butcher is not diving after Taimu. He was actually sitting in the front line and dealing with the push because he realizes that when the Widowmaker is on the low ground, she can't actually put pressure on the front line of KongDoo Uncia when they're fighting, so basically doing nothing right there.
Kind of awkward. Mickey is trapped outside of the Diva suit right now. Oh, that was a reflect.
Was definitely a reflect.
Yeah. Be careful. Hits the heals. Mickey nearly has his Diva suit back yet, but I feel like that's delaying this push somewhat. Gotta be so careful.
All right, Coco gets another charge.
Yeah, charges into Bubbly. Good start there. Harry Hook firing away on the dance. Charging up his laser a little bit. And EnVyUs on the point right now. Birdring.
Great
Look
tracking.
at that tracking. Harry Hook, man. This guy. The heals come in. So does the Earth Shatter, but EnVyUs not deterred. They're going to give the Butcher the nano boost. Harry Hook gets his own. Meanwhile, Graviton Surge used immediately. They finish off Panker right away. And Uncia starting to lose people. Coco did go down though, but Butcher's going to take a nap on the point. Bubbly finished off. Harry Hook on this Zarya has been, I think, a really nice addition for this team. He's got such good tracking that it's a very natural fit.
And credit to Coco too. He's probably been the best player on Envy tonight.
Yeah.
He's been hitting a lot of the monster ultimates or making the clutch picks with the charge that have helped them push through. So they are going to get point A. They have 47 seconds to work with.
Not a lot of ults either. Well,
they're going to have three. It's going to be 3 versus 3. And they have the zoning power of the self-destructive, and they have the survival power of the sound barrier, so it's not looking that bad. I mean, Primal Rage is not that threatening.
I think music is a bit preemptive here. 25 seconds left. Don't get so excited, game.
Yeah, it stopped immediately. The anti-climax was real.
They're waiting for Chips' nano boost here. 15 seconds remaining. They can't lose anybody. No picks.
Timer on the Tracer.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Left side. Oh, Coco gets pulled in.
No.
What a pick for Dance. That is tragic. EnVyUs, they just got to go for it now. Sound barrier. Nano boost, who'd they give it to? There's the self-destruct. Mickey gets to kill Dance. That's something, but yeah, after losing Coco, I don't know, man. Harry Hook trying to find the kill in the Birdring, but he gets chased away, taken down by Butcher. And Birdring with the cleanup. Oh, that hook. That hook onto Coco could have been a much better push for EnVyUs, but Birdring, or rather Dance, ends it all with the Road Dog.
Unlikely, of course, that we would have seen a victory there from Envy anyway, because we were so close to overtime, and the stall-out potential on Anubis or any of the 2CV maps, obviously huge. So, but they got point A. So now A, and then hold point B, and over those 4 minutes, and they should be comfortable with doing that. EnVy actually going to be going for the Symmetra right now.
I mean, they can be comfortable doing that, but how comfortable are they on that control point tiebreaker?
That's the question. It was a 2-1, to be fair to EnVy.
It's just not one of their stronger map types, you know?
Right. Absolutely, but it's, you know, this isn't their last shot.
No, not at all. Time for the super hold. Interesting spots for the turrets there.
I really like the fact that Hulk is running the Symmetra, because even if they fail on the first point, Symmetra is still quite good on Anubis B. The shield generator is just monstrous.
True.
On the second point.
Yeah, the respawns make it very, very annoying. But generally, if your team gets wiped, you can kill the shield generator pretty easily if you're the offense. So it's hard to make it last if the fight goes very poorly. Yeah. Here we go. Burgering on the Genji again, of course. No Widowmaker this time from KongDoo Uncia. Gonna try to push it straight up.
Slowly pushing here with Burgering trying to poke it. And closer to his Dragon Blade where he can.
Alright, Internet Hulk loses one turret.
Internet Hulk already at 52%.
Yeah, not a bad start. That's Symmetra. And they've got them all kind of bottled up on the second floor. Good turret placement for when they jump down.
Spam down the Reinhardt shield a fair bit, and they're going to challenge them down here, but they're going to have to go into all these turrets.
The Internet Hulk's about to get his ultimate. I'm curious to see what he's going to put down. Yeah, going for the barrier, I'm sure. There it is. Barrier comes in, and Butcher with the nano boost. Not able to get a lot from that. Now EnVyUs has to fight back. There's the shield. They're going to advance behind it. Coco goes in swinging. He gets his own nano boost. Things are looking pretty good. Dance gets a hook. Coco takes a short nap, but he's back up again. And Dance pinned against the wall. There's the kill finally for Coco. Oh, finally? Okay, Earthshatter. Eventually Dance will die, I promise you.
No, he won't. Desaria shield's coming through, so
me?
he actually stays alive, and I am shocked that EnVy was not able to hold that. When you get the shield generator down, that's an additional 725 HP across your entire team, which is a huge additional health pool. But the focus fire good enough from KongDoo Uncia that they're able to take the point, and now EnVy has no ultimates on point B, and Birdring is getting very close to a Dragon Blade.
Yep.
Gotta rely on the tack visor here from Harry Hook.
EnVyUs back on.
Oh man, the Lucio ult too. This is gonna be a good push from KongDoo. They've got a great opportunity.
They do. Dance with the whole hog. Taimu trying to find the flank. Coming in now. EnVyUs has to hold him off for 230. Not the longest time.
They're waiting, right now they're waiting for Lucid's ult.
Yep, that's the plan. Waiting for the nano boost. They push EnVyUs off the point again. Get back there somehow. Good biotic grenade, actually. EnVyUs may be able to capitalize on that. No, not going for it, though. Dance very low.
Harry Hook is nearly dead. He can see
oh!
that.
Killed Harry Hook, actually. Going in now. Chipzion in a lot of trouble getting taken out, and this is looking pretty grim for EnVyUs. There goes Mickey. Internet Hulk trying to live for as long as he can, but I think that's it.
I don't think Reinhardt can get back in time.
I don't think so either. KongDoo Uncia just going to take Temple of Anubis.
Wow. Good push. This is the old KongDoo Uncia. This is the KongDoo Uncia that we've spent a lot of the season being used to seeing.
Yeah.
Precise with their ultimates, precise with their plans. They did a good job of waiting until the nano boost came up there. Chipzion was never able to get right back up to that 100%. So the nano boost advantage was absolutely huge, and plus the fact that Harry Hook was chunked out. He was like on 5 HP, and they got hit by an errant shuriken from Birdring, and that was it.
Well, that was not an errant shuriken, man. That went exactly where Birdring wanted it to go.
Harry was trying to hide behind the pillar, so he sort of peeked out at the wrong time and didn't have the healing necessary to use the tack visor. So he died with the tack visor up. There's nothing you can do. You're not going to pop that tack visor when you're at 5 HP and try and make a play.
And so, that means the map is EnVyUs' choice, and this is a map they absolutely must win or they are out of Apex Season 2. Dorado will be the choice.
Classic EnVy map, right?
Yep.
We think about EnVyUs and their history as a team. Back when they had Tailspin, before they had Mickey, and Dorado has long been one of their most dominant maps.
Another Symmetra map.
And it's a map we don't really see that many other teams choosing, which it's unfortunate because I really enjoy watching Dorado.
Yeah, it's
And-
got a lot of interesting architecture for setting up different defenses, different pushes.
But
Fun.
even this season, when we see Envy play Dorado, if we think back to the match against VK Stars, that's where Taimu went totally nuts on the Widowmaker. Long sightlines, always good for EnVyUs. And like you say, Symmetra also an option.
That's right. So this is it. Do or die time for EnVyUs. Their tournament life on the line. Let's go to Dorado and see if they can tie this thing up.
I get it.
Welcome to Dorado. Why was Soldier 76 hanging out here in the cinematic? Who knows? There's crime everywhere. I think he was just trying to have a vacation, and
He was
he
taking
brought
in
along
some
his
sun, and
Yeah.
then you see gangsters with glow in the dark tattoos messing around with children. You got to stand up for him,
and
Doa.
Omnix. Yeah. He just
Getting
happened to
beaten.
bring along his visor and his gun, so. It's in his check baggage. Gotta go to work. He's like, I'm getting too old, but actually, I'm never too old for this.
Do you think Bruce Wayne brings along his bat suit when he goes to Cancun, just in case there's
Probably.
crime?
I think he brings along like a bat swimsuit, you know, an aqua bat, if you will. Suit. It's got the belt, which is really all you need.
And a speedo.
You got all the tools, exactly. Bat, speedo, and the belt.
Speedo, belt, and mask.
I guess
The
you
only
need the
thing-
mask too, yeah.
The only things that Bruce Wayne needs
That's right.
on vacation.
And love. He needs that too. You know, he's had a hard life.
I think he's used
He's
to not being
he's a
loved, Doa.
bitter
I
old
think I
man.
think that's his thing.
That doesn't mean he doesn't desire a happy future.
All right, so Taimu onto the McCree as KongDoo Uncia will be on the defense to start things off. Dance taking the Diva. EnVyUs running the composition that they've been running basically this entire series.
Bird Ring.
And hello, Bird Ring. You got a little bit too close. You got burned by a Zarya laser.
Yep. That happens. Payload moving. And KongDoo Uncia down one player as they go into a crucial pushing point here. Taimu with the kill onto Panker. Great start for EnVyUs. They are rolling point A right now.
And they're just killing people methodically one by one. Moving as a unit, taking
Good target
every
selection.
player by KongDoo Uncia as they come, which means that KongDoo Uncia is always going to be a man down when defending point A. And that's why they're giving up right now. Basically, the spawns have been so split.
Oh, they may try to go for one last-ditch effort here. Bird Ring a little bit low, needs to really avoid Harry Hook. Can't do it. Mickey helping him out with the kill there, and nobody able to really touch Taimu. They're going to give the nano boost over to Coco anywhere. Butcher dropping the Graviton Surge, but you just can't stop Taimu from
I
wrecking
have
you, apparently.
no idea why you would drop the Graviton Surge there.
Very
There was
odd.
nobody up. You need to regroup and reform. And that's a big ultimate out of the picture. And Taimu, unthreatened that entire time, will now be maneuvering onto the high ground with his buddy Harry Hook.
And Chip Zion there, too. All right, time for the Deadeye. Got the Zarya shield. No kills out of that one, though.
No kills. Now they were just, again, buying time. When you do that, you flank around that far, you stall
Here we
them
go.
on the bridge, so it makes it harder for them to set up right where they are currently.
Really close. Taimu nearly got the flashbang over the Reinhardt shield there. Either way, they broke up the defense a little bit anyway. Here on the low ground. Here comes Bird Ring. He's got the nano boost. Nice shield on the internet halt. Mario comes in. There's the sword. Bird Ring. Oh, hit with the Earth Shatter though, and he will go down. Internet halt gets a finishing blow there.
Clutch Earth Shatter, and
That's right.
Taimu
Clean it up.
gonna follow up on the sleep there with a nice fan the hammer. I would hate to have that happen to me while I'm asleep, Doa.
No kidding. Well, I mean, I'd kind of rather have it happen to me when I was asleep than awake, actually.
That's true.
Yeah. It's not good either way. And EnVyUs just destroying Uncia so far on Dorado. One last ditch effort. Hold on point 2 here for KongDoo Uncia. Here we go. Now here's the time we use the Graviton Surge. That's it. Taimu with the Deadeye.
Electric
Cowboy.
No!
Oh, Earthshatter again, though. And that's a self-destruct.
Oh,
Gonna
that
take
was
out
so
Taimu.
greedy.
Oh.
It was really greedy. Had he just
So
used
brave.
it, he would have shattered the Reinhardt shield and probably picked up a kill, but he
Yeah.
waited for the nano boost
Well,
instead.
you know, to be fair, Dance did fly up in his face. With
Yeah,
the,
yeah, that's true.
So he couldn't actually pull the
That's
trigger
true.
there. So it's not totally
But
greedy.
the nano boost, I don't know about that. When you already have the channel completed,
Yeah.
and you're going to lose that line of sight.
Yeah, I don't think you need the nano boost, but EnVyUs really wanting to just complete point B, but now they find themselves a bit stuck. Bird ring on the McCree as well now.
All right, so long flank, back onto the high ground. Envy has been much more disciplined in their attacks.
Tobelstein, Butcher with the nano boost. Big biotic grenade onto EnVyUs as well. Bird ring with the easy cleanup on this McCree. 3 kills for him as Butcher does most of the damage. EnVyUs need to go back and regroup.
Yeah, we've got plenty of time though, and they knew after sacrificing a couple of ultimates that they would be sitting at that disadvantage for the next push. So getting 2 out, not too bad. Butcher doesn't get too much charge. Back onto the Graviton Surge in spite of being nano boosted. And Envy, as I was trying to say, they've been pretty disciplined about how they've been approaching their attacks so far this series compared to a lot of the play that we've seen from them this season.
Another Deadeye for Taimu ready to go. See if this one works out a bit better than the last one. EnVyUs just trying to control that high ground to get back to the payload, which has moved way far back.
Yeah, they had to change their approach this time because it had rolled back onto the archway. Could take the long path around, and that position has been dominated by KongDoo Uncia instead.
Pankers probably not got a whole lot of shield remaining.
I mean, his Diva payload. Nonsense going on is hilarious.
Yeah. All right, Deadeye gets bubbly actually with it. Ooh, good amount of damage there. Needs to be careful.
McCree off on the high ground.
Yep, that's right. Sound barrier now for Bird ring, or Bird ring for Bird ring to contend with anyway. Lucid gets caught by Mickey's self-destruct. Oh, and they get Bird ring as well, so EnVyUs, they're gonna get point B.
Yeah, pretty convincing on the final push. Waited out the ultimates of KongDoo Uncia and dry push before, so now they're much better position to use that Deadeye, and fortunately for KongDoo Uncia, Bird Ring's Deadeye a little bit late and not very effective, no backup.
Why does Lumerico use really old vintage trucks to deliver their power sources?
It's cool. That's like...
I guess so. It's like a hipster kind of power company thing.
The hipster, Lumerico, the hipster power company. That's
so.
why they make cigarettes now.
Yeah, that's right. Super, that's about as hipster as you can get. Thousands of years ago, Harry Hook with the Graviton Surge, you're getting behind. But that sound barrier, they just gotta wait it out. Okay, there we go. Now's the time. Graviton Surge, Earthshatter comes through, got blocked by Coco, I believe. Coco now with the nano boost. Trying to keep that payload rolling, but the kill's coming in for KongDoo Uncia. But still.
Yeah, Coco, well, may be able to charge out of there and live. Yes, he will. Enough healing on the backside. Whoa. Flashbang not going to be enough. Now Bird Ring.
Oh dear.
Gets
nice
saved.
shield at the last second.
By the shield.
Man.
Fire Strike would not have been enough to kill him right there anyway, but
No, but
there
you
could have
never
been
know.
follow-up damage for sure from the Ana.
Exactly, yeah. Exactly. Back on the point again. Taimu gets it rolling. Butcher with a Graviton Surge available in case they need to use it. They've got some good ults to work with here.
Minute 17 left, so EnVyUs is on the clock, but one or two pushes remaining. Bird Ring trying to use this corridor to get a nice Deadeye. Good boot by Mickey.
Yeah, denies that Deadeye completely. Bird Ring still with the nano boost, but no way to really use it.
Well, if you're Envy, you're really happy you just got those two ults out for free.
Oh yeah, they're right back on the payload pushing again. Internet Hulk needs to be a little bit careful here. Oh, Mickey needs to be careful here. Butcher's got a lot of charge built up. And actually, they're just going to go ahead and Coco drops the.
Even though he was backed into the corner, however, Butcher is still sitting here. The self. That's definitely the throwaway ult of that fight for EnVyUs, and now they are looking like they are on the ropes because KongDoo Uncia is going to have 5 ults to defend against their final push. So it looks like here in the have to be the best sound barrier of all time.
Really break it down. Comes in with a great Graviton Surge. Barrier from EnVyUs as well. No follow. Ooh, there we go. 2 kills from the ultimates of KongDoo Uncia. And EnVyUs shorthanded. That should be about that. Goodbye, Harry Hook.
Even Lucio can't break it down that hard, Noah.
Nope, he got broken down. And KongDoo holds EnVyUs to 2 points. It's doable. EnVyUs can certainly hold.
It is hard at the professional level to push all the way through on Dorado.
Yeah.
And given EnVyUs's formidable defenses that we've seen on absolutely.
Really night and day. Especially teams like Runaway. I mean, where in the world did these guys come from? Relegation suddenly in the semifinals.
The difference too is the quarterfinals last season we actually had 3 of the 4 attending Western teams.
Yeah.
Only Energy failing to make it out. This time we just have that single one, although there is the caveat, obviously, that had Misfits been placed in any other group, I do think that they probably would have escaped.
Both Cloud9 and Misfits actually came really close to
Yes.
making it into the quarterfinals, so it's not like it was a blowout by any means, by any stretch.
That said, though, the power of the Korean teams has certainly improved dramatically, and a part of it is also that this is just not EnVy's patch, right? Whereas teams like Lunatic High, even though they fell today, do have been really strengthened by the metagame that has evolved.
If you're a global team playing in Apex, you're playing in the land of dive during the meta of dive, and
Yeah.
So it's tough.
It's rough.
So it's very tough.
So Symmetra is going to come out, as we saw, with turret placements from Hulk.
Yeah, gets a little bit of percent to start things off as KongDoo Uncia begins pushing the payload.
Pank are going to be going with the Winston, so easier time clearing out those turrets. And Birdring going to be pushing forward as well and trying to eliminate the defenses that are sitting on top of the arch. Hulk has not got that much ultimate charge yet. They're trying to dive into the back.
I don't think this is going to work terribly well for EnVyUs. Yeah. And Hulk, I mean, he does have his ultimate built up already.
Time to get bubbly, so
Extremely fast.
trading 1 for 1.
He was at like 25%. How in the world did he get it so quick?
It's the magic of Symmetra. It will be a teleporter this time, as they have already lost a member, and the payload is getting uncomfortably close, especially as this nano boost comes through. Birdring is going to have that ult up right now.
Yeah, well, he uses nano boost. Now he's got the Dragon Blade.
He knew that KongDoo Uncia up, and Hulk is unfortunately targeted by Birdring. It looks like this is going to inevitably fail.
He did his job. The teleporter's down. Now it's on the rest of his team to win the defensive
no.
fight. And they do have
Go
Coco
with the nano
nano
boost, shutting it down. Nice.
Yeah, Dance does take out Chip Zion, which is a big amount of healing gone with, well, it's the only healing really that EnVyUs has gone, but they do manage to hold for the moment anyway.
Yeah, Taimu comes in with the Tracer, and that combined with the fact that Nano Boost was still available for Envy. I did not see that. They're able to outlast the Dragon Blade without a Nano Boost of their own, and the reinforcements coming that much faster. Envy has self-destruct, so all of a sudden things looking quite peachy for Envy.
EnVyUs already holding point A much longer than KongDoo Uncia was able to. Which will help them hold those other points if they have to.
Butcher with the Graviton.
They're really committing now. I mean, oh, now they can't. Uh-oh. Oh, boy, Mickey. I feel like we're back in last season to get 3 kills with that self-destruct and then the charge kill onto Dance. They drop the sound barrier. They're ready to go for the Graviton Surge, but a great Graviton Surge
Mickey just
from
looks at the
EnVyUs.
camera because he knows what just happened. It was going to be on him. But that's what happens sometimes when you don't have the Reinhardt. When the Graviton Surge comes in, you don't have the easiest ways to block that self-destruct. Unless it's put too far out, you happen to have that Winston bubble.
So Internet Hulk about to have his ultimate again. Will it be the teleporter or will he go for the barrier this time? See what he uses. Immediately goes for the barrier. Yeah, makes sense. Now they got to win this next fight though. Butcher very low. That helps. No, it doesn't. Dance with 3 kills on the self-destruct if you include the Mickey mech, which I don't, but apparently the kill feed does. Yeah, all right. Well, that's not the fight you want to have after you use the barrier.
And that's where, sadly, you see the Indiana Jones guy come in and say, you chose poorly, the knight at the end, because
chosen poorly.
You could put that shield down, Noah, but guess what? You're still going to be one-shot by a self-destruct. That's doing 1,000 damage to you.
Man.
And that's where the teleport, you're like, well, that would have been better had we known that the self-destruct was going
to... A lot of Symmetra, too. That happens, you're just like, oh, my team.
Oh, well, sometimes you get hit by self-destruct.
Yeah, but right after the shield generator goes down,
it
hurts. It hurts bad. EnVyUs on the high ground defense. 2:45 on the clock for KongDoo to get to point 3. Point C, whatever you want to call it. And Envy with a really aggressive defense here. Right at the beginning. Sound barrier for Uncia.
Taimu and Harry Hook do force the sound barrier. Birdring with yet another Dragon Blade. He has been charging those very quickly and picks off Taimu on the retreat.
Wow. Not even really needing the Dragon Blade to get things done.
Well, no, and not at the end of that. When they had already committed the sound barrier.
Yeah.
And they're probably still feeling okay about how things are going. They have regrouped up on the high ground and they launch the nano or the Graviton down and pick up 2 with a big bang.
Yeah. That's right. EnVyUs looks like they should be able to hold for now. Yeah. Oh, Birdring with a bit of revenge. I needed that Lucio.
Well, Tracer, but yeah.
Tracer. Well, he killed the Lucio, that's what I'm talking about.
Taimu coming out a little bit too far.
Yeah.
Still self-destruct to push people off the payload from Envy in case they need it, but a wealth of ultimates for KongDoo Uncia. Still going to need a couple of fights if they want to push this all the way to point B.
Yep, here we go. Birdring pulls out the Nano Blade. 2 kills already with that. Meanwhile, Mickey delays a bit on the payload with the self-destruct. Hook goes down. EnVyUs having a really hard time defending this one.
See, that's the trade you make. When KongDoo commits those 2 ultimates, you go ahead and you drop the self-destruct so the payload can't move, which ensures that you're, not ensures, but makes it probable you're going to get another fight before the payload gets to point B.
Right.
So,
that's the idea.
The trade is nice. Pulse bomb back up from Taimu.
Nice delay from Taimu, actually.
Yep.
And there's a big Earth Shatter coming in from Coco, but looks like he caught Dance, but no real follow-up. Anger's going to go ahead and pop. Oh, the Primal Rage. Uh-oh, Sound Barrier for EnVyUs right as they get caught up with the Graviton Surge. No follow-up. Birdring does go down. Great fight coming in for EnVyUs now. Oh, self-destruct, though. Ooh, that was really close.
Well, right at the end, the Graviton Surge not doing much for KongDoo Uncia. Butcher did not have the best placement of that ability kit. Are they going to be able to take this down? No, the healing just a little bit too much. And they actually give Lucid Nano Boost in response, but there's only 10 seconds left, and they push them all the way back into the spawn room.
Yeah.
Birdring on the Pharah.
Desperation time. EnVyUs on the verge of winning this map, staying alive in the tournament. Can they do it? They got to win this fight. Graviton Surge comes in right as the Sound Barrier used. There's a big bomb.
The Big Bang.
Big Bang, whatever.
But
big
only on
bang.
the Bubbly.
Yeah, well, Bubbly goes down. Birdring taken out, though. Good start for EnVyUs. OT ticking away. And has EnVyUs found a way to keep themselves alive. They got to deal with Butcher on the payload. Panker as well. There's the self-destruct for Mickey. Gonna boop away the Diva with the self-destruct. Panker going down too. There's OT. Can't get back in time, and EnVyUs will take Dorado.
And wow.
We are going to map 5.
Envy may actually be able to just win on payload maps.
Maybe.
Pulling it out, the rabbit out of the hat once again. It's still troubling. It's still troubling when you think about it, but if they can do it consistently, that's been true about Apex in the format. If you are infallible on Escorted Hybrid, you can win any best of 5 and you can win any best of 7. Do I feel like it's playing with fire? Absolutely.
Sure.
But if you can do it, it will work. So,
well, EnVyUs putting themselves one step closer to staying alive in the tournament, one step closer to that rematch against Lunatic High.
And KongDoo Uncia, they may be eliminated now by EnVyUs 2 seasons in a row. That would be a bitter pill for them to swallow. Certainly they would like a bit of vengeance for not being able to make the finals last season, because you better believe that KongDoo Uncia would have won Apex if they hadn't fallen to Envy. So,
yeah,
they know that. We know that.
Well,
and Mickey with the Diva.
Another day, another Mickey 3-kill with the self-destruct. Feels good.
Yeah, there's just
Oh, yeah.
there's no way for the composition to stop that. They started the self-destruct and then pulled in everybody with the Graviton immediately.
Yeah. And so, what will the map choice be for KongDoo Uncia? Another hybrid map coming in. And this is where it all ends. Both of our matches going to map 5 today.
It's been a long night, Doa, but it's been an exciting night.
Yeah, doesn't feel long, man. It's been awesome. Icon Vault and Kings Row. What's the choice going to be?
Yeah.
Kings Row.
I think you take Kings Row. See, the thing is, though, I think that KongDoo Uncia is actually kind of scarred by Icon Vault because that is where they lost to Envy in Game 5 last season.
True enough.
If you remember, of course, in the second phase on the bridge over the moat, we saw that great Shatter self-destruct combo that tore open KongDoo Uncia and allowed them to win. So
Allowed EnVyUs to win.
allowed EnVyUs to win, yes.
Yeah. Well, and we know just how good these flanks have been from Birdring and the rest of Uncia on Kings Row. This map has been one of their specialties this season.
Yeah, that's true. The high ground flanks have been very good. KongDoo has been really disciplined on this map.
EnVyUs, though, no doubt aware of all this.
Still another map where you can play Widowmaker pretty well on point A, though.
Sure enough, well, it is time. Do or die for KongDoo Uncia and EnVyUs. The winner moves on to face Lunatic High. The loser goes home. Let's see who takes it.
get it?
Welcome to Kings Row, where the final battle of the night will be fought between EnVyUs and KongDoo Uncia.
It's the final countdown now,
It's the
Doa.
final countdown. You can do it on Big Ben. We have Medium Ben to help us with the countdown, too.
As we get into, of course, 60 seconds.
That's right.
Now, KongDoo Uncia on attack first. Could be double sniper. That would be a more common composition, or a composition I should say that is becoming more common. Meta Athena has used Taimu on the Tracer. So
Defensive Tracer. Okay. I like our graphic up at the top. It's like quarterfinals Group A, losers. Why is there an apostrophe at the end of losers? It's losers.
no, it's losers as in it's multiple losers possessive. It's correct.
Yeah, is it? It's
yes.
awkward though. It's a bit strange. Losers.
Losers, Matt. That is actually grammatically correct, but
It's still weird.
you're weird.
Well, yeah. So what? This is esports, baby.
It's not going to be double sniper.
No.
Bird ring though will be a simple Sonic, or will it be a commitment?
A semisonic?
Yeah,
perhaps?
semisonic. No, it'll be a fire strike to the face, and then I switch to Genji.
Fun times. All right. KongDoo Uncia on the offense here. And Taimu waiting to be annoying on that
Wow,
Tracer.
Taimu going pretty hard there.
Super ham. He's got to go Super Saiyan, and he's going to try with Tracer right here. Bird ring on the point, though. Coco Zarya's shield chips in the back, trying to stay alive. Bird ring.
Harry Hook's already gone.
That's right. Not a good start for EnVyUs. It's KongDoo Uncia all over the point right now. Harry Hook did not survive very long.
Hulk did manage to take out Lucid, so a lot of the healing has actually been cut off from KongDoo Uncia right now.
Kind of surprising. Taimu needs to stay alive. Needs to stay alive right now.
Nearly has the pulse bomb, even as Internet Hulk falls to Panker's hammer.
That's right. Coco goes down as well, and I don't think they're going to get everyone back in time to defend this one. Looks like EnVyUs is going to lose point A pretty fast here.
No ults used in either the attack or defense.
Yeah.
Everybody holding on to their resources, and that'll be a pretty fast push. First
rough start.
Yeah, first tries working out, and Bird Ring manages to pick up a couple of crucial Genji kills after the initial picks from both teams. So, pretty forward defense right now from KongDoo Uncia. They don't want Envy to get position in the hallway. Pulse bomb available as Taimu seeks an angle, an opportunity to use it.
Oh, that was a very optimistic pulse bomb. And now the Graviton Surge comes in for KongDoo Uncia. Let's see what the combo does. Gets one on the Harry Hook. EnVyUs having to back away anyway. Bigger shatter comes in from Coco though.
Just to stay alive, but how much longer? And a boost almost down.
Sound barrier comes in a lot later for EnVyUs and KongDoo, but that's actually going to be, well, I mean, not something I guess they can use. I thought they'd be able to maybe re-engage with it, but they back off instead. Meanwhile, Bird Ring pulls out the Dragon Blade, and EnVyUs in all sorts of trouble now.
No more sound barrier to save them. And that's going to be it. At first, Coco looked like he was going to get a lot of work done with the Nano Boost, especially since he escaped the bigger bang by using his charge. And not only that, but he killed Panker with his charge at the same time. So actually a hugely preferable trade.
Now EnVyUs pushed all the way back nearly to point C already.
This is going to be a tough defense, as it's going to be a lot of time spent here right by point C. Harry Hook going to dive into the back line, though, and find a massive Graviton.
Yeah, Mickey gets the kill on the Butcher, too. They needed a big team fight there, and they got one. So EnVyUs finally able to take a breather, able to stabilize a little bit.
Taimu realizing he didn't even need to use his pulse bomb there because the self-destruct had already been planted. A little bit of conservation from Envy and heads-up play from Taimu.
Yep.
Ring still poking.
Dan's dying very late, so they'll take a little bit extra time. Taimu being sneaky.
Oh yeah, you don't expect the Tracer there, but he misses. Oh
He
no!
missed the stick, and that is 2 pulse bombs for Taimu that have not been stellar in this round.
That could have been so huge, though. You would never expect the Tracer to be in upper halls when the payload is that far forward. It was a gimme stick too.
I don't know how you missed, but that close range happens to the best of us. Taimu probably is one of the best of us.
Maybe not on Tracer, though. He's still working his way up on that particular hero, and some of the growing pains are showing.
If us is you, me, and him, then he is at least. Coming in the back lines, Graviton Surge. You're going to give the nano boost to Coco as well. Self-destruct. They do take down Coco with that.
Yeah, the double charge from the Reinhardts knocking each other down opened up the possibility for the self-destruct to hit a lot of targets and actually take out Coco there. The cleanup easily won there, and that means KongDoo Uncia is going to get a push through to point C. And not only that, but they are going to arrive at the Foundry phase with a substantial advantage in ultimates. Taimu not going to be on the Widowmaker, instead going for the McCree. Has liked to defend on Widow in Foundry phase before. We saw it against BK Stars.
Yeah, we've seen Stitch do that on Runaway as well, but going for the...
It's hard against the Genji for sure, and,
very
and
hard.
the Diva.
Yeah, certainly. Speaking of Genji, Maker's gonna try to kill him. No. There we go, Bird Ring now with the Dragon Blade, and KongDoo Uncia dominating team fight.
Hulk throwing himself off the edge at the end, trying to reset as a 6-man unit and stall out with the sound barrier, considering KongDoo Uncia dumped everything in it. It's not going to be enough to actually finish the map in 3 minutes, a very long time for KongDoo to work with.
Harry Hook's got the Graviton Surge though, so maybe something they can use. Coming in the back lines, going after Lucid as best he can. There's a Graviton Surge.
Very nice.
Big pull, yeah, that's gonna be a ton of damage, and finally EnVyUs gets another fight they're looking for, but so much time left for KongDoo Uncia to finish this one off.
Now the tables have really turned though. Envy buys enough time. Harry Hook with that excellent Graviton flank and the follow-up from his team. 5 ults. And KongDoo is going to need to switch onto the McCree themselves from Bird Ring. And can they do anything with the ultimates that are coming online pretty soon? They'll be up to 4.
Well, they've got 2 minutes about to make it happen.
Plenty of time, and this is going to be a battle of efficiency.
Yep. You gotta save every ult you can. Graviton Surge used time. We're trying to counter the Deadeye. Not working out. Bigger bang.
Oh,
2 for
boy.
Dance. That's a problem. Earthshatter coming in right now as EnVyUs tries to fight back. Mickey on the Winston does get the kill on the Bird Ring, which is crucial. They need him to stay alive. Back onto the payload again. Harry Hook gets booped off at some point, I believe. Mickey goes down in Primal Rage. And now KongDoo Uncia, that payload is moving. Internet Hulk just trying to delay as best he can.
Harry Hook already has the Graviton back available for him though, and everybody is respawning. So it's going to be hard for KongDoo to push all the way through right now, 6 versus 6 with the respawn advantage.
Well, I mean, that payload is so far already. Tolstein again, Bird Ring. Oh, he gets a kill into Harry Hook somehow with the Deadeye.
And turned around because it was so, Harry Hook was so close, a point-blank Deadeye, and that's going to negate the ultimate from the Zarya.
Self-destruct to zone, and KongDoo gonna finish it. 3 points for them on their attack round.
Oh. Close, very close at the end.
Yeah. Well fought by...
really a couple more right clicks from Harry Hook Zarya. That might have been a very different fight. But the Deadeye does the work and gets the one shot. Long faces on some of the members of Envy there, but no need to worry. There is still time for them to win this map.
Yep, that's right. This is, of course, KongDoo Uncia's map choice. They wanted to come to King's Row.
They did it, but only a minute. Only a minute in the time bank.
Yeah.
And a minute is basically enough time for 1, maybe 2 pushes if you're lucky onto point A, whereas Envy can finish with a slightly longer time. It pretty much allows you to actually get some ultimates up or to fight back if you lose that first fight.
Yep. Taimu on the Hanzo for now, but what we've been seeing him doing is using the Sonic Arrow and then swapping over to the Widowmaker. See what he decides to go with in the end, though. He might not even go with any sniper.
Interesting to me that Bird Ring wants to run the McCree, because when you play McCree, most of the time it's because you think that there might be a backline threat, but you still want to use a lot of the open space on King's Row to get damage down from afar. But there really is not a dive threat ever by Envy. So Soldier, I would think, is typically a better hero for them to pick for defense on point A against specifically this opponent.
Here we go.
Harry Hook on Roadhog. Wow, this is, okay. We've seen Harry on Roadhog before, but not frequently. And Taimu
Time to go for picks.
gets the pick down, gets the damage down. He actually nearly one-shots Lucid.
Wow, yeah, very, very close.
Taimu going to stick with the Hanzo here. I sort of disagree with them not running Zarya with the Hanzo because that could be a guaranteed push through point A.
Yeah, it is a little bit odd.
When you get
to
the
see
old combo.
You know, now Harry Hook on the Roadhog for some reason. We'll see if he can get the picks, though. But the picks coming in on the KongDoo side. Birdring with the kill on the Coco, and
Looks like probably
EnVyUs
was
have to back away.
Probably was a flashbang over the top of the shield, and not much you can do about that when you're already in the front line. Scatter Arrow will not be picking up any targets. Taimu's done a decent amount of damage. He's leading the ult charge battle right now, and goodbye Bird Ring. Well, now it's going to be a 6v5 for Envy.
Yeah, as Coco pushes up, too, he came back to life. Taimu nearly has that Dragon Strike all ready to go. They're going to get the kill on the Panker, too, so it looks like EnVyUs putting together a very successful push early on.
And this is where it gets so scary if there's a Hanzo with an ultimate, because you have to go through that choke point if you're the defense, and there's going to be a Dragon Strike coming through, like, right now.
Oh, you could probably save it. Nope, just using it just in case. Onto the nano-boosted Roadhog. Dance, though, and Uncia trying to fight back.
Oh, wow, they actually are being successful, too.
For the moment, yeah.
The nano boost coming out first, a big difference. Chiptyan is the nano himself now. Butcher.
EnVyUs so close. They got two ticks on the control meter, but finally pushed back.
Think about that Graviton Surge. But overall, Envy should still be taking this because they have had the more successful fight.
We'll see.
Nice sleep dart from Chips.
Yeah, but I think Panker woke up right away. Again, not going to survive Harry Hook's whole hog, though. And Hulk on the point, Birdring back on the Mercury, of course. It's a fight against Taimu. They're going to use the sound barrier. They just really want to take point A here. Dance gets a kill on the Harry Hook, though, and Birdring unopposed for the moment. Mickey finally finds one with the self-destructed Birdring. Oh, he killed Chips, actually, with the Deadeye. Got to contend with Mickey, but he does pop him out of the suit.
Oh, wow, they held that, too.
Can't believe it.
Everybody had to pile in behind the park taxi to avoid the Deadeye, and Chips was not lucky enough. No more healing for Envy, and Butcher snipes them out while they're all trying to run and scatter away. And now they're going to switch to the Zarya and hope that they're going to be able to push this maybe into overtime.
It's got the Dragon Strike up, but no Graviton Surge because they were running the Roadhog the whole time.
It's okay, you can use it right now. Here we go.
I don't know about
that was not where you wanted to put that.
Well, okay, Graviton Surge for KongDoo Uncia. So follow-up comes in, Butcher wrecking people with that nano boost. That's a clean team fight. That Dragon Strike.
It's not that big of a deal. He was throwing it out now because he knows that he can charge up another one by the time Zarya ult gets down. And the plan for Envy, the emergency. Oh, he's swapping.
Yeah. I mean, you need to get something done right now, man.
No,
55 seconds.
He can get another Dragon Strike in the next minute. I don't think that's out of the question. He's been charging them very quickly.
Can Harry Hook get the Graviton Surge, though, at only 40%? That's the bigger question, I think. Taimu trying to make something happen right here, right now on the Widowmaker, and they need to. This is their tournament on the line. 35 seconds, and they haven't even taken point A yet.
I think the answer is yes, though, if you nano boost him, which just came up. So I think the communication not there for Envy. I think you stick with the Zarya and the Hanzo combination.
Taimu zoned out by KongDoo Uncia. They've got ults to deal with. They've even got the Deadeye for more zoning. But theoretically, Taimu can finish him off. A couple kills coming in for EnVyUs. It may not be dead quite yet. Birdring forced away, and it looks like they're just going to give it to him. So EnVyUs finally gets some payload moving.
Scary. Very scary for Envy.
Extremely close.
2.5 minutes to run it through Streets phase, and they're still fighting for their tournament life. They can get it there in overtime and hold for a minute, and then force a sudden death in map 5. That's still an option that is on the table.
That's the hope anyway.
Taimu, every time things start to get tough for Envy, it's back onto the Widowmaker for him, and crossing their fingers that he's going to make some amazing play.
Well, they don't call him Taimu for nothing. They need him to be just that right now. Aerial goes in with the Graviton Surge. Electric Cowboy at the same time, though. The kill comes in onto Coco. Mickey gets one onto Panker, though. Both Reinhardts out of the way. Sound barrier for EnVyUs as they move the payload forward. They will win that fight enough to get it moving.
Can they get this pick onto Diana? Yes.
Nice, calm pick onto Lucid. Good shot.
Huge pick. That means that they are going to have an advantage here on point C.
I mean, if there's one thing you can say
Point
about
B.
Taimu, and there's a lot of things you can say about Taimu, but one of them is he's extremely calm under pressure in these situations. Butcher, Graviton surges, Uncia fights back. No kills out of it, though. Maybe a bit wasted. Just trying to hold the payload where it is as long as they can. But EnVyUs will not be deterred.
It's so hard for KongDoo to hold in this scenario because they lost that Ana, but they're doing a respectable job, and Taimu actually will back off as Gypsyon. Getting low, and they lost 2 members.
I think it's going to swap. I think we're going to see Taimu move over to that McCree maybe again.
What's it going to be?
Yeah.
It will be the
go.
McCree. Yep. Answer.
Oh, the Tracer. Okay, a little bit of indecision.
Maybe it's because he thinks he can charge that ult in under a minute.
It's certainly possible.
Or because he's not.
You don't see a lot of flanks when it's just that narrow choke at the end of point B, but
Dance, he's looking for a hook. This could be like a game-winning hook, too.
Mickey taking a lot of damage early on. Dance on the run, though.
D-suits him with Bird Ring. That's huge for 24 seconds left.
Yeah, that's really big. EnVyUs, dire straits, man. Their tournament on the line. They need to get a little bit more time.
Oh, Dance gets Coco.
With Coco out of the way, too. And now the charge comes in as KongDoo Uncia pushes Mickey back. Bird Ring
That's going to be
gets
it.
a kill there, and yep, 7. And down to 5 seconds left. KongDoo Uncia pops the sound barrier to try to lock this one up, and with no way to get to the point, that is it. KongDoo Uncia goes on to face Lunatic High and EnVyUs, their tournament, and the hopes of the global team ends here.
And man, KongDoo Uncia getting that revenge, losing to EnVyUs in the 5th game of the semifinals last season, now coming back and winning in the 5th game, keeping their tournament hope alive. Unfortunately, we will not see Envy with a 2-time victory here in Apex, and we've got all Korean teams remaining.
Yep. And we'll have to see where EnVyUs goes from here. I mean, the meta is obviously going to be changing again with future patches coming in. It's such a strong squad that you don't imagine any of these guys are going to go anywhere. You'd hope.
Yeah,
I mean, Overwatch is Overwatch right now, but
I really hope that this isn't an answer with another roster change, because
I agree.
Envy did make it far this season. They won, they made it into the top 8 again, and even though the meta may not have been in their favor, they have such enormously talented players that I would hope that their answer to this is to change up some of their hero pools and try and learn some new styles rather than make sweeping roster changes that may affect their synergy in the long term, while sort of putting a band-aid on a bullet hole in the short term, right? So
True enough. Well, right now it's all about KongDoo Uncia, like you said, getting that revenge, and really playing a lot better tonight than we saw them play against Runaway in the last best of 5. And I think we can definitely look forward to Lunatic High versus them later this week. That should be an awesome best of 5.
that will be good.